Hi everybody, Professor Jim here. Welcome to doing some more basic math for a few minutes. We'll talk about decimals. I'd like to thank County College Morris for providing the lecture hall, and we'll start looking at some decimals. Okay, we're looking at regular, Hindu Arabic numerals. Everything's a placeholder, numbers 0 through 9. The other times we dealt with the left-hand side with the big numbers. Now we're dealing with the small numbers that are less than 1. Okay, so the decimals on the right-hand side are going to start with tenths. They don't start with ones like on the left-hand side. These are right-hand side. So starts with tenths. So it's like in the U.S. it's like a dime. There's a tenth of a dollar. So that would be that column. Next to that would be hundredths. So, U.S., hundredths of pennies. In the U.K. it would be pence. Okay. So it goes tenths, hundredths, thousands, thousandths. There's a DTH in there. 10,000ths, and then 100,000ths. And then you can have 1 millionth, etc. if you keep going to the right. That'd be really, really small numbers. Small enough in here, but those would be really small. Anyway, okay. What's going to happen what'll happen on the test, and we all get to take tests, is that it'll say rounded to the nearest thousand. Or in our case, rounded to the nearest 10,000. Okay, so we'll focus in on the column for 10,000. We go 1 to the right, just like we do with the bigger numbers. Same procedure, game plan, strategy, sequence, steps. Same deal. Our number to focus on in this case is 6. We go 1 to the right, it's an 8. 8 is 5 or higher, so the number we're looking at, the one we're focusing on, gets increased by 1. So our new number, the 0.573, stays the same. This gets increased by 1. If you want to be exact, we can put a 0 after it. We don't really need to, but sometimes they ask for all the digits. So we can call it a 0. That's fine. Okay. Another question, we'll round it to the nearest tenth. Okay. Now we focus on the 10th column. We go 1 to the right, it's 7, 5 or more, same thing. We increase our number in the 10th column by 1. We make it a 0.6. Mentioned before, if you want to put in a bunch of zeros, you can. 0.6 and 0.6 with 4 zeros is still 0.6. Okay. All right. Go to the food store, buy a few things, milk, etc. I just wrote down some quick numbers. Okay, so adding with decimals, we keep the decimal place in the same spot. So if it's 2 digits, we keep the decimal place and we have 2 digits to the right. So we just add up the numbers. 15 into it's 22, 11, 18, 22 again, 6, 8, 10, 13. Okay. $13.22. This is in dollars. US dollars, Canadian dollars, whatever we're working with. Okay. I want to say hi to my friends in Canada. Okay, so we add up 4 numbers with decimals, two digit decimal places, come out with $13.22. All right, let's do rounding. Okay, we're going to round it to the nearest dollar. Okay, that's 0. This gets bounced up to 4. We focus on the 1 column for the dollars to 9, so that bounces that up to a 3. 7, we focused on 2. Next number to write 7, 5 or higher, bounces the 2 up to a 3. And we're focusing on 3 over here. Number to the right is 4. 4 is 4 or less, so we don't increase our number we're focusing on. 4 and 3 is 10, and 3 is 13. So when we round it, it's almost the same. It's close. All right, that's like our supermarket question. People go to the supermarket and, yeah. So we have decimals. Okay, let's say we have a decimal point 36. Okay, show it as a fraction. All right, well, this column is tenths, this column is hundredths, so we would say this is the same as 36 over 100. Okay, can we simplify that? Yes, all simplifying does is it takes a fraction or any, the numerator and denominator of the fraction, they just show it with smaller numbers. If you eat 4/8 of a pizza, it's the same as eating half a pizza. It's the same amount. So that's all this is doing. We can use a number tree to do that if we want. So I did number tree for 36, number tree for 100. They share 2 2s, or 4. So we can divide this by 4. Whatever you divide the top by, you have to divide the bottom by the same number. Keep everything in balance. 9/25. So that's our answer for switching decimals over. When we multiply with decimals, we just have to keep track of how many decimal places there are. I just multiply regular, like we regularly would. So let's do that. Okay. Just to keep in mind, I have no script. So it's unscripted live. Okay, so we get 1068. Now we have to put the decimal place in the right spot. Okay, first number has 2 decimal places. Second number has 1. We add them together, we get 3 decimal places. And we're good. So we go from right to left, and we move the decimal over. So 3 decimal places, our answer has 3 decimal places, we're all good. Division, when we divide, we get rid of the decimal places. If we get rid of the decimal places from the outside number, then we have to get rid of the decimal places from the inside number, which is what we'll do. So we move this over 2, we move that over 2. Okay. 75 goes into 22, that doesn't work, right? Okay, so we can't do that. 75 goes into 225 3 times. Multiply the thing out. Regular division. In this case, it went in as a whole number, so we didn't have to show any decimal. If it was a different number than 225, we put the decimal point right here, and we continue dividing. But we definitely want to clear the decimal in the number we're dividing by. And then, of course, we have to move it over the same number. And, we're dividing by this, we're dividing 75 into 225. So we have to move it over twice for both. Okay, and that'll conclude decimals. Thanks a lot for viewing. Remember to hit the subscription button with the little bell. Thanks, bye.